Hey guys, welcome back to another Walt Presents, and this time we're looking at Peter Pan. I have this copy on Blu-ray. Not the newest edition, but still a very good edition. Of course, I have my trusty notebook here to help me guide me along this interesting story. It was the 14th animated film from Disney, and the last one released by RKO Pictures. Disney had partnered with RKO for years, but after Peter Pan, they were able to create their own studio going forward. I was wondering when that would happen, and finding that out was kind of neat. Disney originally wanted Peter Pan to be its second film after Snow White. They bought the rights in 1938 from Paramount. Started putting together story ideas. A lot of ideas were abandoned. Originally, Peter was supposed to kidnap the children. He thought that was a little bit too dark, so they decided to go with the original play that it was based on, where he comes for his shadow. There were other ideas, many ideas abandoned, like everything being told from Nana's eyes, the dog in the film, to Mrs. Darling being the one who finds his shadow, and instead of Wendy. There were even things where the Darlings actually went to Neverland with the children. All those ideas ended up being abandoned. The original storyboards and things like this that were put together for the film ended up making the film about 2.5 hours. But after Disney saw it, he decided he wanted to hold off on it. Not only did we have World War II that delayed filmmaking, and they couldn't get to it for a while, he decided to move ahead with Cinderella because he felt the characters were just too dark. He just didn't like what he was seeing. So Cinderella was green light. It ended up coming first. Alice in Wonderland happens, and then Peter Pan finally gets released. Animators were brought in with the actors that did the voice roles to come in and give their voiceovers as the characters. They were trying to draw them, to try to develop what each person would look like. Wendy Darling actually ended up being voiced by the same actress that played Alice in Wonderland. Unfortunately, I didn't write that down, who she was. Bobby Driscoll was Peter Pan. Although his face was kind of modeled after him, and Disney didn't like it at the time. He wasn't really happy with the look of that face. Wanted him to be very youthful and young. Actually, Captain Hook was one of the longest characters to try to get that look down. But when they finally decided upon what the looks would look like, I mean, every character in here was animated by somebody different. That way you get the distinctive look going on with every character. Tinkerbell, actually, the actress that portrayed her had to pretend she was flying, so the guys animated her to keep that in mind. Soundtrack featured 7 songs. Stand out would be "You Can Fly" in my mind. There was a very controversial song called "Who Makes the Red Man Red," which we'll go into that down the road on that one. It ended up being released on February 5th of 1953. It was a double feature with a documentary called Bear Country. It was a hit. It made $8.2 million in the U.S., would be re-released in 58, 69, 76, 82, 89, 2003, and 2013. Ended up grossing $87 million lifetime gross in the USA and Canada, and adjusted for inflation, that comes up to $427.5 million. It was a marketing, lots of merchandise was made for Peter Pan. It hit boys and girls. Very popular tale, adapted many times in feature films, plays, throughout history. A very well-loved story. It did not make a home video debut until 1990, and wow, that amazes me how late in life that came to be. Of course, it would go on to hit every major format: VHS, Laserdisc, DVD. It would spend time going in and out of print, as Disney movies would, going into the vault. Overall, critics seemed to like it. It was well received. There was only a couple of reviews I could find that were negative, that they just didn't care for some of it, but I'd say 95% of the reviews that I read up on were incredibly positive towards the film. It's got an everlasting legacy. It actually had a a sequel that was supposed to originally went straight to home video, but they felt it was good enough. Then in 2002, Return to Neverland came to theaters. I liked it. It's been a while since I've seen it. We'll get to that in this series. Tinkerbell, when it becomes so popular, she would have her own spin-off. Sadly today, though, Peter Pan is marred by controversy due to the depiction of Indians in the film. Like I said, mentioned earlier with the song "Who It's a Red Man Red." In fact, Disney Plus has even put up disclaimers about that, which is what, if they feel their work is disclaimer, I think that's the better way to do it than to censor it. Put up the disclaimer. I'm cool with it, but don't censor these films. Like, you can't really censor Peter Pan without destroying the movie. There's no way for them to really do it here because the Indians played a huge role in it. There's also mermaids featured in the film. Great characters. Peter Pan is, the boy who could fly, the boy that doesn't want to grow up. I mean, a great character. Lost Boys, fun characters. I mean, Steven Spielberg had even made a spiritual sequel called Hook, another film. I really enjoy it. I mean, I think Peter Pan is an absolute classic of Disney animation. It's just a really good movie. It's always generated with me ever since I was a little boy. And great characters and just an absolutely fun film. One you shouldn't miss. If you've never seen Peter Pan, it's time to give it a chance. Look past the controversy. Just go watch the movie. I don't feel it's that controversial myself. But I mean, but it should be watched by everyone at least once or more. Alright guys, that's all I've got for this one. I will link a trailer down below, so take care and go watch a movie.